Good morning,
Is this
Nazanin.
nice, Naslin? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we invite.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Oh
Hi,
my gosh, is this
and Tanya's here,
beautiful?
and Jack. So we are recording, and this is the Monday session for GrowthOD, and we're pursuing organizational development with a whole set of new tools, um, true storytelling and GrowthOD together. And today, Olivia Parrud is talking to us about leadership, and then we'll have discussion time. And it's now 9 a.m. I'm going to, at least in New Mexico, I'm going to turn it over to Olivia. But maybe we could have some introductions and some gratitude statements all around. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that my wife made me a wonderful breakfast. And I'll turn it over to Sabine. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Oh, it's just lovely that everybody is here. I am grateful to be here and grateful for my husband and grateful to have a very comfortable, cozy house. It's raining here and to be safe. And I'll pass it to Ken.
Good morning, everybody. Much love around. I am grateful for having this amazing stack of skills and diversity in full support of me at all times. Invaluable. Doing my best to add value to you. Love to all. I'll be followed by the next person to raise their hand who just grabs the mic and runs with it.
I'll raise
Oh,
my hand.
Olivia, go.
Yeah, so I'm grateful to be here and to have this opportunity to share a little bit about what I'm playing with and researching and hoping to add value. And a shout out and thank you to Ken because his prompts have really helped my work. And so, Ken, your contributions are invaluable. And I'll pass it to Carl.
Thank you, Olivia. I'm grateful for you for inviting me to join when I can. I'm excited to see your presentation today. I'm so happy to learn from all of you every time I'm here. So inspired for your passion and everything you offer, all of you. And I'll pass it on to Paul.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm grateful that I was able to navigate the swirling waters of yesterday, which involved moving a lot of stuff, lifting, moving, climbing stairs, to put me in this new location with a new scenic background. Um, and I will pass this to Dr. Sue. I think I came here a little late.
Hi, thank you. And I'm also grateful to Ken for inviting me to this group and also, of course, all of his prompts that are invaluable. And I'm also grateful because I haven't been here in a few weeks because I had two first cousins pass away. Found out my brother was legally blind now, so I was taking care of him in his house. Then my daughter was in a bad car accident. So I've been caretaking her, but luckily she's alive and she only has, some major broken bones in her legs and ankles, and she's going to recover fully well because she's only 30. So very grateful for that. So it's been a little stressful month for me. So I'm glad that this group is here for support as well. And I will pass it on to, oh, Joy's not here. I don't see Joy. So let's go to Jack.
Thank you, Dr. Sue. And
Hmm.
good morning or good afternoon to everybody. I guess it's really morning for all of us, really. I am grateful for new friends and old. I was fortunate to run into some friends I hadn't seen in a couple of years over the weekend, and just realizing how lucky I am to have some of the people I have in my life where we rekindle some of our relationships that we had before. That because life is so busy, we kind of just move on. Kind of like my tennis racket. I used to play tennis, but I don't play tennis now because I'm busy doing other things. Anyway, I will pass it on to Doug Breckenridge.
Thanks, Jack. Like Jack, grateful for old friends. I hosted a reunion for my military unit this past weekend, and so it was great to catch up with those family, my colleagues and my comrades and my those families. So really grateful for that time. And to Jack's point, you just got to make the time to make sure you keep those connections going. So let me pass on, and I joined a little late. Joy, I see you've joined as well. So let me pass on to Joy.
Thank you, Doug. Well, let's see. Today I am grateful for having such a wonderful weekend. I was planning to get some rest and some downtime on Sunday, but I got invited to a sit by a stream and watch the water go by afternoon with a friend. And so that's what I did. And I had a really good time with my whole weekend. So I did join late. I don't know. Do you want to raise your hand if you have not gone? All right. So I do not know you, but you with your hand up, I think you should go next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nazanin, and I am a student, PhD student of David. I'm grateful for being here, knowing you all, and I'm grateful for knowing David in the first place and knowing Grayson and having their support for all these years, for the early years of my immigration to United States when I was a PhD student and I need help, and they were really great help, and they continue to support me through all these years. I'm grateful to meet very good people during all these years who helped me, who support me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, although I cannot stay with you for the full session today, but I can attend tomorrow and I will continue attending the sessions from now on. And I'm grateful to see people from different backgrounds. Like Joy, I can see you have some knowledge. You definitely can help me. So I'm grateful for all of these opportunities, and it's a great pleasure to know you all. By the way, according to David's suggestion, I use a nickname Nancy because I know my name is difficult to pronounce and remember. You can use it as Nancy.
Well, good to see you, Nazanin. Good to see you, Nancy. Appreciate
Thank
it. And we're going to turn to Tanya, and then we'll finish with Jim Rogers. Tanya.
Hello, everybody. I am grateful to be here today that my schedule allowed busy client, busy time in the work area for me. I am also grateful to be here. I'm really looking forward to hearing from Olivia today. So I'm really grateful for that. Grateful to learn and to grow. And that's it.
Jim Rogers. Just to remind you, Jim, we support artists of all kinds and organizations, changes that are artistic and bring new discourses. And so I want you to know you are a part of this. Okay.
Well, thank you, David. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning, and I'm grateful that my car is partially repaired, and that I'm also grateful for upcoming show that I'll have at Roy Vander Oz Gallery. And so I'll be getting ready for that show. And just thank you for letting me be a part of this group too.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Have I missed anybody in the intros? Is everybody okay? Okay.
David, I'd love to just make a comment. When you said about welcoming artists, it reminded me of a story I remember where some scientist was trying to figure out a molecular formula to cure a disease, and he was at an art gallery and saw a painting, and the idea came to him. So it just really reinforces how important it is. And I think the best corporate offices have great art around everywhere, photographs, paintings to inspire creative thinking and innovation. So you guys are important. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say.
absolutely. You all are. And I just want to stress, I just finished a new book, and I think it stems from art of Mikhail Bakhtin and how stories happen in organizations and discourses. And just as kind of an intro to leadership, how important it is to have leaders that don't impose one discourse on everybody else, but orchestrate the discourses like an orchestra leader, combining in a symphony the number of discourses we have. So I'll leave you with that, but I'll be talking about that tomorrow. Be tuned into Enthinkment. All right, Olivia, we're ready to be dazzled with your approach to leadership. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I just want to say, as a preface, my knowledge comes from experience as a data scientist, but working for lots of companies and having a curiosity and a personal growth motivation that allowed me to see these patterns. If I were 30 years younger, I would probably go for a PhD under David's tutelage. But as it is, I have done a lot of my own research and also a lot of healing work, which has given me this passion for seeing how a lot of corporate leaders have a unhealed if they have challenges, it's usually due to some unconscious wounds or unhealed areas or shadow. And that's really where I'm wanting to make a difference. But I use language that could be accepted by, say, a CEO who has no idea what's driving their behavior. And so what I've done is, with the beautiful prompts that Ken has gifted us, I've created a series of courses called True Authority. And just to give you a little background, I lost my parents very young. At 5, my dad died, and then my mother went to work. So I was pretty much on my own and had siblings, but we were all sort of in trauma. And I had to figure life out for myself. And what I've come to realize with a lot of other traumas that have come along the way is that I've had to look to myself for this authority to really give my gifts. And that's hence the name for my series of courses. So the first course is called Awakening. And what I'd like to do today is take you through the first module, and we'll see how far we get. It's participatory. I did upload a workbook in the chat, so you're welcome to download that. We'll be working on it. And we'll just see how far we get. We may finish it. I'm going to practice not reading too fast or speaking too quickly, which I tend to do. So you guys are kind of my guinea pigs, so thank you. And I'd love your feedback, criticisms, whatever you have. But I think it'll be fun and hopefully enlightening. So let me just introduce, we're going to dive into something today that is fundamentally could shift your understanding of your own leadership. And so if you look around for the past, say, 20 years, I've been studying leaders like you. And some of you may find yourself stuck in patterns that maybe don't serve you anymore. And so what I've discovered is that we all have these invisible, what I call operating systems running our leadership. Most of us have never looked under the hood. So over the next hour or so, we're going to see if we can identify your specific leadership pattern or patterns and understand exactly where it shows up in your body or in your behaviors. And then we're going to learn some practical tools to transform it into your greatest strength. If you got the email about the meeting, I also gave you a link to an assessment that I created. So maybe some of you have an idea, if you took that assessment, you have an idea of what your main patterns are. But if not, that's fine, because we're going to explore that today. So this module is all about awareness, and I mean real awareness, bodily awareness, emotional awareness, not just intellectual understanding, but really deep awareness. So we're going to explore 5 leadership archetypes that I see over and over again. And one of them is going to feel like I've been following you around with a camera. And it might feel uncomfortable, but that's actually a good sign, because the goal isn't to eliminate your pattern, but to develop conscious choice around it. Because at the end of the day, when you get a pattern and you know your current awareness level, you'll have the tools you can use immediately and really be able to leverage that pattern. So before we begin, I want to take a moment to just arrive fully. So you can close your eyes if you want. Just feel your body settling into your chair. And just notice your breathing naturally slowing down. And as you listen to my voice, you can allow yourself to become curious about what you're about to discover. Because right now, as you're sitting here, there's an invisible pattern that's been running your leadership without your conscious awareness. And over the next hour, you're going to see it clearly, understand it deeply, and begin to transform it completely. Do you notice a slight feeling of anticipation? That's your unconscious already preparing you for change. So you can open your eyes if you close them, and by the time we complete this session, you will have discovered your primary leadership blind spot, recognized why even brilliant leaders have patterns, identified your current awareness level, mastered tools to interrupt unproductive patterns. But here's where it makes the difference. As you engage with each part, you'll notice the mind making connections you hadn't seen before. And you'll feel shifts happening at a neurological level. And you'll find yourself naturally making better leadership choices. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The more natural it becomes, the more effective you are. And the more effective you are, the more fulfilled you will feel. So imagine your leadership as a massive iceberg. And you see the tip above the water, only 10%. Your visible behaviors glinting in the sunlight. But feel the weight below, 90%, the vast unconscious patterns, powerful currents pulling you. Notice how most leadership development just polishes the visible tip. Well, we're going to dive beneath the surface where the real power lives. As you contemplate this image, you might already sense which hidden patterns have been steering your course. And as you hear these words, I want you to imagine your mind as a sophisticated computer. See the screen in your unconscious, hear the hum of the processing power, and feel the keys beneath your fingers. Now notice you have software, the programs you consciously run, your skills, your knowledge, your strategies, you can see and update. The operating system, the deeper code running silently beneath, patterns installed long ago. When your computer slows, you just add more apps, you look deeper, you examine the operating system. That's exactly what we're doing together with your leadership. The more clearly you see your operating system, the more power you have to optimize it. So every leader has blind spots. Yes, even you. And there's a fascinating reason why. Our early programming. I remember being young and needing strategies to navigate our world. Well, those early programs still run, especially when you're stressed. 2, past success. Feel the satisfaction of what's worked before. Your brain loves efficiency, so keep repeating successful patterns even when they no longer serve. 3, stress activation. Notice what happens when pressure mounts. You default to the familiar like a computer running in safe mode. 4, cognitive efficiency. Your brilliant mind creates shortcuts, saving energy by automating responses. Listen to this example, a leader who learned early that being perfect meant feeling safe, not to find themselves micromanaging, now to find themselves micromanaging without realizing it. The pattern feels like high standards, but creates team paralysis. So as you hear this, you might already be recognizing your own version. We're going to look at the 5 universal patterns and a preview of those. So research indicates and reveals 5 primary patterns that limit research power, leadership power. And as I name each one, notice which one creates a subtle internal shift of recognition. 1, the rescuer sees others struggle and must save them. 2, the protector feels the need to shield everyone. 3, the rebel resists structure automatically. 4, the performer needs to be the fixer, the solver, the star. And 5, the harmonizer. Give up yourself to make everybody happy. Breathe deeply as you let these sink in. We'll explore each one in detail next, but already your unconscious mind is highlighting the one that fits best. So let's do a deep dive. Notice which one creates that unmistakable feeling of truth, that slight discomfort that says, yeah, that's me. Remember, recognize your pattern in the first step to transcending it. The more honest you are, the more power you gain. You don't have to share it with anyone. You can just keep it to yourself. You might want to have the workbook handy to jot down insights or just a pad and paper as we go through each pattern. Pattern 1, the rescuer. The rescuer sees struggle like a flashing red alarm, feels that need to immediately intervene. Picture this. You're in a meeting and a team member stumbles over a presentation. Notice your body leaning forward. Feel your hands wanting to take over. Hear yourself jumping in with answers. The rescuer looks like taking over before others can even try, or staying late fixing what isn't yours to fix, or feeling exhausted for carrying everyone, or seeing your team become increasingly dependent. The hidden belief whispers, if I don't help, they'll all fail. The real cost, you're burning out while your team stays small. As you hear this, do you feel that recognition? That slight tightness in your chest? Take a moment to just breathe through that. And we all may have a little bit of this in us. We probably do. Pattern 2 is the protector. The protector feels others' discomfort like it's their own. They notice how you shield others from every difficulty. See yourself in this scene. Difficult feedback needs delivering. So just visualize that. Do you feel that contraction in your stomach? Hear your mind searching for softer words. Watch yourself creating artificial harmony. The protector manifests as withholding truth wrapped in kindness, or taking blame that isn't yours, or avoiding conversations that need to happen, or creating comfort that prevents growth. The hidden belief exists, I must keep everyone safe. The real cost, problems fester beneath the surface while growth stops cold. If this is you, you might feel a heaviness right now. That's awareness arriving. Now let's talk about pattern 3, the rebel. The rebel feels structure like chains. Notice that surge of resistance to any authority. Feel yourself in this moment. New procedures are announced. Sense that immediate no rising. Feel your body wanting to push back. Hear your voice challenging before thinking. The rebel shows up as changing systems constantly, feeling restless, questioning everything automatically, creating chaos to feel freedom, struggling with necessary routine. The hidden belief declares rules limit my freedom. The real cost, those around you lack stability while you exhaust yourself fighting. Rebels often feel this description as imitation. That's your pattern protecting itself. Pattern 4, the performer. The performer feels compelled to be the center stage in every solution. Notice that magnetic pull towards being the hero. Picture this. Problem surfaces in your meeting. Feel that strange energy to jump in. Hear your mind racing with a brilliant solution. Watch yourself becoming this spotlight magnet. The performer manifests as taking over every challenge to shine, needing to be seen as the brilliant problem solver, feeling restless when others get credit, creating dependency on your star power. The hidden belief declares, my worth comes from being indispensable. The real cost is those around you stop thinking while you're burning out performing. If you're a performer, you might feel that familiar competitive edge right now. That's your star quality recognizing itself. So just notice the energy. Pattern 5, the harmonizer. The harmonizer sacrifices authentic self for universal happiness. Feel that need for everyone to get along? Experience the moment tension arises between others. Notice the immediate urge to smooth things out. Feel yourself disappearing into peacemaker mode. Watch your own needs vanishing into the background. The harmonizer appears as absorbing others' emotions as your responsibility, saying whatever keeps the peace, feeling drained from emotional caretaking, losing your voice in the quest for harmony. The hidden belief whispers, if everyone's happy, I'm safe. The real cost, authentic relationships die in artificial harmony and problems grow in a false peace. And harmonizers might feel guilty even hearing this truth. So take your time. Really feel into this question. That visceral answer reveals your core pattern. So what I'd like to do is now write down your primary pattern and any insights around how it shows up in your leadership. See it, breathe it, choose it. So I'll give you a minute to just write down some notes. So you can finish a little bit of that later. I want to keep going just because we want to get through the time here. So now we're going to talk about your 5 levels of leadership awareness. Now that you've identified your pattern, let's discover how consciously you operate with it. The 5 levels I'm going to introduce show exactly where you are on your true authority journey. As you listen, you'll naturally recognize your current level. No judgment, just honest seeing. And you might want to make notes as we go through each level, which one resonates the most with your current experience. So level 1 is unconscious reaction, complete autopilot. Imagine driving a familiar route and arriving with no memory of the journey. You know you're at level 1 when problems are always someone else's fault. You can't see your role in conflicts. The same situations keep repeating. You hear yourself saying, that's just how I am. For example, a rescuer that's at level 1 takes over a project, then blames the team for being dependent. They can't see that they created the dynamic. If this is you, you're exactly where you need to be, because awakening starts with seeing where you are. Level 2 is hindsight recognition. So you see the pattern after it happens, like noticing you ate that whole bag of chips only when you see it's empty. You'll recognize level 2 by thinking, I can't believe I did it again, or feeling regret about your response, or seeing patterns only in retrospect, wanting to change but not knowing how. For example, a harmonizer realizes they've been absorbing everyone's stress after they're emotionally exhausted and resentful. The pattern's only visible through the rearview mirror. Most leaders start here. That regret, it's awareness dawning. So cherish it. Level 3 is where you watch the pattern while it's happening. So you see yourself reaching for the chips and unable to stop. Or for me, it's chocolate chip cookies. And you might be thinking, I'm doing it right now. So you're watching yourself repeat your old patterns. You're feeling trapped by strong habits and frustrated, but beginning to shift because the awareness in real time is super powerful. So this might be, if you're a performer, you notice yourself jumping into solution mode mid-conversation. You see it happening, but the pattern completes anyway. This level feels uncomfortable. That's good, because discomfort means you're at your growth edge. Level 4 of awareness is the choice point. You feel the pattern activate, you feel the tendency to do it, but you choose differently. It's like seeing the chips on the counter, but choosing an apple instead. So level 4 experiences include catching yourself before acting, taking a deep breath at choice points. This is where new responses become possible. So celebrate small victories. An example, a harmonizer feels the urge to smooth over a conflict, but chooses to let the tension exist for growth. And the old pattern knocked, but it didn't answer. And this is where transformation accelerates. Each choice builds a new neural pathway. And then level 5 is natural integration, effortless mastery. The new way has become your natural state. So level 5 looks like you rarely get triggered into old patterns, responding from wisdom and presence, others commenting on your transformation, and you're teaching through your being. Example, a performer empowers others effortlessly. They don't think about getting credit. They create conditions for others to shine. Few reach level 5 quickly, and that's okay. Every level is part of the journey. And if you're at level 2, your awareness, your witness is kicking in, and that's huge. So just celebrate wherever you are. So in your workbook, honestly mark your current level with your primary pattern. Most of us start at level 1 or 2, and that's perfect. And it can be situational. You could be at level 1 or 2 in certain places where you have more stress, and you may be 3, 4, or 5 in other places where have more confidence or you're less stressed. Wherever you are, you're exactly where your journey begins. See it, breathe it, choose it. So I'll give you 2 minutes to work on that. Okay, now we're going to do your leadership breakthrough process. This works directly with your neurology to create lasting change. So I invite you to sit comfortably, feet flat on the floor. Have your workbook nearby in case insights arise that you want to capture afterwards. Close your eyes if it feels right, or just soften your gaze downward. And begin by noticing your breathing. Don't change it. Just notice the rhythm. In and out. In and out. Now consciously deepen each breath. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. And release completely 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel your shoulders dropping, your jaw softening, your whole body settling into perfect learning readiness. With each breath, you're activating your parasympathetic nervous system, your optimal learning state. Notice how good it feels to give yourself this focused attention. You're safe here. You're ready. Let's begin. Bring to mind a recent situation where you felt your pattern activated. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Be there now. And notice the moment it triggered. What happened just before? See the faces. Hear the words. Feel the atmosphere. Notice your body's response. Where do you feel your pattern living? In what part of your body? Is it tightness in your chest? A churning in your stomach? Heat in your face? Tension in your shoulders? Stay present with this sensation. Breathe into it. This is your pattern's physical signature. It's alarm bell. Notice the quality. Is it sharp or dull? Hot or cold? Moving or still? Expanding or contracting? You're not trying to change it yet. You're learning its language. Your body has been telling you this pattern all along, and now you're finally listening. Breathe. Stay curious. This feeling is just information. Breathe. See it, breathe it, choose it. Now we'll use bilateral stimulation to integrate new patterns. This technique activates both hemispheres of your brain, creating space for new responses, new neural pathways. So I invite you to choose your arms, cross your arms over your chest with your hands resting on opposite shoulders. So your hands are kind of gripping your shoulders, like you're giving yourself a hug. And while you're doing that, keep breathing slowly and begin alternating gentle taps with your hand on your shoulder. Left, right, left, right. And just find a pattern that feels soothing. And as you continue tapping, hold the awareness of your pattern. Left, right, left, right. Just keep doing that. Notice something shifting. The sensation might move or soften. Let it do whatever it needs. Just keep tapping. You're creating space between trigger and response. Left, right, 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 left, right. And just slow down, left, right. Take 3 deep breaths. Left, right, left, right, left, right. And just notice any differences in how your body feels. Even subtle shifts are significant. And now imagine that same situation again, but this time you see yourself responding differently. And if it feels good, you can keep tapping or rest for a bit. But as you're building the vision, watch yourself, recognizing your pattern before it takes over. Taking that conscious breath, feeling that choice point, choosing a different response. See it clearly. What do you see? What do you do instead? How does it feel to respond from awareness rather than the pattern? And now go back to tapping if you stopped. Left, right, left, right. This helps to integrate. Right, left, right. Feel your body learning this new way. Left, right. And notice how this feels lighter, cleaner, more aligned with who you're becoming. Left, right. Your nervous system is encoding this new pathway. Each tap strengthens the connection. Each breath deepens the learning. You are creating new neural pathways at the unconscious level. You are totally integrating this new pattern. I'm just going to continue tapping for another 30 seconds, just at your own pace, seeing yourself responding from this new awareness. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And then just keep this practice in mind anytime you want to go deep and integrate a new pattern. Just put your hands on your shoulders and tap. And now going forward, let's project. See yourself tomorrow, next week, next month, naturally recognizing your pattern signal. Let's set the scene. Watch yourself in different situations. In meetings, catching your pattern before it activates. With others, just choosing consciously in interactions. Under pressure, breathing through that trigger. And most important, celebrating each moment of awareness. Just feel the satisfaction of this new awareness and growth. And notice how it ripples out, improving every area of your leadership and life. And now take three final deep breaths, anchoring this new possibility into your body. And I'll just let you take those at your own pace. And now gently open your eyes if they were closed. And look around if you see other faces. Feel yourself fully present and alert. And you can take a moment, write down any sensations, images, or insights that emerged during this process. So you just created new neural pathways, like a path through the forest. They've grown stronger with use. Remember it, to see it, feel it, and choose it. So I'd like to just give you 5 minutes to just take notes, and then we can complete and come together. We have a few more seconds, and then you can keep, obviously, writing down your feelings and thoughts and about could open it up for discussion. Would oh, David's off. Would most people like more time, or no, it looks like, all right. Does anybody have any? Obviously, you don't have to share your key pattern, but I'd love to really let me know if you felt like you got something out of it. Jack.
Thank
Oh, just Jack had his hand up, and then I'll come to you, Tanya.
Thank you, Olivia.
Yeah.
All five of these blocks can be very effective used by a leader. And as a coach to leaders, I find that being able to use each one of these quote unquote blocks to help a leader to have balance is what it's all about. I mean, the rescuer wants to make sure that everybody is heard, that everyone gets to have their say, that feels like they contributed, that they all fit in and everybody was satisfied. The protector has a great asset in the area of empathy, wanting to make sure that understanding each person's feelings and being there to acknowledge the other person's feelings is part of leadership.
Yeah.
I think in all five of these, the harmonizer, the performer, it's important to be a performer as a leader. It's important to be a rebel. Now, my dominant area of the five is rebel. Now, to give you an example of how rebel shows up for me, and by the way, a rebel is a little bit like a devil's advocate in that he or she is there to make sure that they're not being conned or they're not being, this new compliance or this new procedure that we're going to implement. Mm-hmm. And when I look at the world of assessments, I see that in our world of consulting and organizational development, I find that there's an inundation of more and more assessments coming forward. And what comes up for me as a coach is what are the assessments compensatory to in the lacking of the behavior of the person that the assessment is being given to. So for me, I see on a continuum, I see at one end of the continuum the natural integration of an intuitive instrument in your mindset. And on the other end, depending on assessments for you to make decisions about, oh, that's right, she's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. Oh, that's right, they have to make decisions much more slowly. And all the assessments is a way to go on a continuum on the other side of intuition. Intuition being somewhat equal to natural integration as a function. And I think assessments sometimes, as a rebel and as a devil's advocate, I wonder what the assessments as a macro picture of assessments, what they're compensating for in the lacking that we have as human beings in interfacing with each other effectively.
Thank you. I think we want to limit because there's a bunch of people that have their hands up. I appreciate that. And I agree. I think you were saying, assessments, I think they're just a good little teaser. Certainly the one that I created, it's not, rigorously scientifically tested. It's more like, oh, that's kind of a good insight. But what I said today is it didn't matter if you took it because you might find something new when you do some somatic deep diving. So anyway, thank you.
My main point, Olivia, is that every one of the five blocks can be tremendous assets to a leader. And I just wanted to make sure that in this presentation, that people don't see this as like a big, all your mistakes and all your problems, that they can be tremendous assets to everybody that has the ability to have those five blocks.
Well, thank you. And that was your rescuer coming out. So I appreciate that. And it's absolutely great. And it's only when the negatives, because there's like negative and positive of all these patterns. And it's when our negative takes over unconsciously that we get tripped up. So you're right. They're all good. They're all important. We really need to be able to access all of them. And we typically have a unconscious tendency towards one that may trip us up if we're not conscious of it. So thank you, David. So Tanya, you wanted to make a comment and I missed it. And then we'll go to you, Joyce, Joy, sorry.
I was just going to say the same thing that Jack said. This technique and these roles are very integral in helping us work better as a team. I love the self-awareness that the activities during the conversation made for me as the consultant. So a lot of self-reflection, and I just love this presentation. That's all I wanted to say.
That means a lot to me. Thank you. You're the educated one. Thank you. Joy. Yeah.
I wanted to say too, what a great presentation, what a delivery, excellent delivery of the material, very well understood and very thought-provoking. So after many decades leading corporate projects, I didn't have an opportunity to be one of those. I didn't answer any. I was very heavily not balanced. Let's just say I was not balanced. I was very heavily into one of the categories. I'm not even sure I had any come up in one area because I remember thinking, I don't know. I don't think I had an opportunity to be that in the corporate world. But I think what it did, I'm not sure I'm seeking balance for some of the others. I'm just seeking to be the best of whatever my dominant characteristic is in my leadership. But it was very thought-provoking and eye-opening because in that corporate couple of decades, it was anywhere from a couple of team members to 125 team members on my most recent team in 2022. Wow. But now I have a team of 3 and a couple of come and go, VAs and type of things. So I had to really, how do I project my coaching leadership? But for me, it was more about how do I project my leadership to a team? How do I project my expectations and assign the work and get the work that was expected? So yeah, this was just absolutely excellent. And I'm going to be diving into more of it. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I just want to say this is the first module of 6 modules and there's 3 courses. So there's 18 of these, what we did today. And I want to gift it to all of you if you want to take it. Eventually I'll be selling it. But I love your feedback. I haven't done the recordings. This was kind of a practice run, but it'll be self-paced on Rizuku. Ken has an amazing opportunity there, as some of you know. And so I'd love for anybody to do the whole thing and let me know. All right, Ken, you have your hand up. Thank you, Joy.
Yeah. So this probably comes from all of the work on the imbalances project for traders. So I've been thinking very strongly about primary and shadow. I would contend that each one of those 5 explicit choice roles has its own hidden shadow. The projector is the exploiter. The performer is the I don't know what, the
egomaniac,
the sham, the bullshit artist,
oh, yeah.
The scammer. The rebel is the agent of chaos. So I think there's an equal and opposite in each one of those. There's a genuine shadow hiding that manifests now and then. I also think I noticed there was a archetype missing for me, which was the tribesman who's been selected for leadership, has not sought it, and is now a selfless servant and has to actually integrate those 5 affirmative roles while guarding against the 5 shadows. So, like performer achieving excellence to earn recognition, I am aiming to achieve excellence to support the team, not for personal a chosen role. It's a role that's been assigned. And so it's the selfless servant and the collaborative leader, I think, is an area that balances those five and
Mhm.
is going to appeal to some folks with a non-Western leadership orientation, where leadership is a quality of the social relationships that emerge and not of the individual romantic notion of leader as individual. So I'm ready to work on a course with you on that for all of
Oh,
that.
you,
Uh-huh.
thank you. Thank you. And it's interesting because my passion for, 25 years has been to have a influence corporate leaders who are leading from their shadow and don't know it. So that was kind of the goal of this, and I'm going to market it without any kind of spiritual language. I agree. There is that almost, to me, that leader is the healthy one that you mentioned that integrates them all. I'm thinking maybe I'll ask, with the help of your prompt to build some in maybe into one of the later courses, because I could see that being there. Yeah. And I had another thought, but I lost it. So yeah, but thank you. And I'm fleshing this out and I'll have it. So I'd love definitely your help on that, Ken. Thank you. Yeah, Carl.
I think mostly just to reinforce what's been said previously. I really appreciate what Jack said quite a bit, because it's like, okay, I did take your assessments, Olivia, and they came out Harmonizer. But I really do like to engage with a rebel, like a devil's advocate. Like I know we need that, and it actually makes for greater team performance. So sometimes I will actually go in that, devil's advocate role myself, be the rebel. But the whole point, our strengths are our strengths, and awareness is like, yeah, we can develop our weaknesses, but we might need to partner with someone else who can fill
Mhm.
the gap. And like a two leadership team is a team, not just that one individual. So I feel like these are great insights about strength and the shadow work, that type of thing. So thank you, Olivia. Wonderful
Oh,
presentation.
you're welcome. And thank you. And you reminded me of my other comment around what Ken said is that yes, each one has a strength and a weakness. So I'm pulling people in perhaps to explore it through their weakness, where it shows up as shadow, to be able to heal, be aware, and then leverage it for the strength that it has. And I'm almost done typing the link to the assessment, because in the copy for the assessment, it gives you the strengths and the weaknesses, that it says, like, if this is a problem you're having, but you work through and heal this is the benefit you'll have from that archetype. I also want to say that when I first started doing this research, there were 24 archetypes that were all juicy, and I let AI help me narrow it down to the 5 patterns that try to integrate the rest. It may not be perfect, but yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, Sabine. Hi, yeah.
Olivia, thank you. I love the clarity of your presentation. I love the
Mhm.
structure. Really well done.
Thank you.
And I also resonated with what you said about listening to your body,
Mm.
because we do feel this, and there is something to that gut feeling, that tension that builds in different situations. And I think it tells us when we are like in the wrong place or in the right place, right? I mean, there's a different feel to this in our bodies. I agree with that totally. And this is
Yeah.
not something we often pay enough attention to. So I think
Mhm.
it's really cool that you brought that out.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
but I have to say, I was with the tapping, I didn't quite get that, so I mean, that's probably me, and just somehow there was a bit of a disconnect, like a bit of it's like, okay, I'm not getting something here. But that's more me than anything else, most likely. So
Well, I hear you, and I would invite you to just play with it, especially think of like let's say you feel stressed sometime
Hmm.
and you're feeling anxious.
Hmm.
So you see give yourself a hug and then
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
tap a little slowly on each side, because whatever feels good, and just breathe deeply and then notice
Hmm.
after 60 seconds, is that anxiety relieved a bit? And it's definitely, when I first experienced it, it felt very foreign to me because I wasn't embodied at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
And
that's where I'm
so,
at. I was like, huh?
right,
And
yeah.
I think that is something like where, it's almost like with meditation, right? You have to be like fully in to,
Yeah, although they say if you just attempt, you're doing
okay,
99% you get 99% of the benefit. Because my
okay.
mind's always on, or I shouldn't affirm that. I look forward to the day when I can have a quiet mind,
Yeah, but
most of
that
the
felt
time.
a little like, huh? Like, huh? What is this supposed to do? Like, I'm sorry,
Uh,
but that's me.
that's
So, but
okay.
I
That's
appreciate a really clear, beautiful presentation. I love the structure.
Oh, thank
Olivia,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. I I lectured for 30 years on data science, which was very linear and intellectual left brain. So this is a new area for me. So I appreciate your feedback and that it landed at least to some extent. Yeah, Joy.
I could say one more thing about the tapping exercise. I really resonated with that. So I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it tended to remind me of one of the best ways to teach children reading comprehension. And one of the best ways to teach reading comprehension is roller skating, because roller skating integrates your left brain, your right brain, your whole brain. Roller skating integrates so much. So even just making cross like this is a good exercise. And
Oh,
so
wow.
doing that, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'll be using that again too. So thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, another way people, but this isn't with the crossing, that you can do bilateral stimulation is just on the side of your knees. You can just tap, or the side of your leg, So if you're ever somewhere where you feel the need to, it kind of helps you ground, is one way I think of it. And so if you're sitting someplace and this would look strange, you can just like tap the sides of your legs or, um, yeah. So look up because there's also you can buy programs and have headphones that do a little sound in each ear. That's the same thing. That's also bilateral stimulation. So look it up and have fun. Ask AI about it. Anybody else? David, I'd love to know your thoughts.
Thank you. Well, I was a rebel in one context with New Mexico State University, and I don't, and you had to do that to balance the extreme hierarchical top-down dominance of the board and the dean and a couple of other folks there. So I kind of got lost in that part, but I'm trying desperately not to be that dominant rebel or counter dominant because it's too polemic. And I'm trying instead now to, it's not being balanced, it's being able to listen to the other points of view without the need to correct them. You know what I mean?
Mm.
In other words, to learn from the dialogue. So I wasn't sure which pattern to be there, but it helped me think about it. So thank you.
Well, and if you can have a few dominant patterns, the assessment gives you the top three. And if you take the assessment and give your email into the system, I'll send you a comprehensive report of the top two together, which is also really interesting. So you can have fun with that. And email, I'll put my email in the chat, but well, you should get the invitations for the meeting from me anyway. Yeah, let me know if you've done it. I haven't set it up to notify me yet. But
I'll let Ken go. I couldn't link for the quiz to work, and it might be at my end or something. If you could check
the one in the chat, because
Yeah.
I put it in and then I removed it and put it in again.
Oh, that's probably what I did.
I just clicked and it went there, but maybe I don't know, it's got two HTTPSs in it, which is very weird. Can anybody else get the link to work? Has anybody tried it?
Working. I got it working. Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, thanks. All right, Ken, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like you to think about from the imbalances work and the 5 ways of knowing that when you get to your level 5 of intentional choice points, you're free to choose. I'd ask you to think about adding these self-reflection questions: head, heart, gut, hands, and feet. With my head, who do I think I want to be? With my heart, who do I desire to be genuinely? Gut, what am I afraid I'm not good enough at? Hands, what does it seem that I'm good at doing among those 5 roles? And then feet, as I travel with others on the path, what do I end up being asked to do? And I think that ends up getting into these now become roles that we can and skills that we can develop and be intentional while retaining sort of our freedom of choice in the middle. And I can be transactional or situational or give what is needed as a member of the ensemble. So I think there's some profitable ideas in there.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
Yes, please. I guess we'll get those from the notes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. I didn't write them down, so I'll have to get them from you. Jack, yeah.
I want to make a comment to David. David, coaching research has shown that higher education is one of the most dysfunctional environments for organizational need and development. So if you play the rebel in your higher education there, but when you did that, that may be the greatest asset that they could have for you being the rebel in that environment, because that they have a high level of dysfunction and a need for consulting and organizational coaching.
From people outside of the educational system.
I just want to throw that in, David, so you know the rebel role can be a great role.
It's absolutely. I'm probably that most of the time. Anybody else? Well, we're down to 5 minutes, so maybe we'll do. Oh, Paul, did you want to make a comment? Yeah.
I will try to be brief, but I see myself all the time, and I think it's reasonable as attention deficit disorder and hyperactive. I'm not the extreme of those, but I certainly find myself there. And the consequence of this hour, or however much we have had of absolutely brilliant, wonderful fire hose. And for me, it's like, how can I grab this one and put it somewhere that I can come back to it? So I was furiously scribbling stuff down, drawing diagrams, and trying to cope with the tsunami. In a general way, what really appeals to me and is one of the intractable parts of living is how can I grab hold of all of these parts for the 5 personality profiles. When I did that, I keep finding myself, oh, I'm some of that, and I'm some of that, and I'm some of that. I'm all of these. I'm a rebel. I have the virtues. Oh, wait a minute. Are we focusing on defects and shadows and the dark side? Oh, let's wallow in the dark side. And so it's off to the races. We like, one of the images that I get from the shoulder tapping is something I learned from my brother, who was very good at using this image to deflate somebody who is blowing their own horn. And that's one of the performer, I guess. In any case,
Well, think of it more as a hug on the side so that you're not patting yourself on the back, you're just gently tapping your side. It's
as I'm saying, it just I'm triggered by so many things. And the triggering sends me off in a direction. When I'm off in a direction, then I am no longer in the room with everything else that's going on. So this was a marvelous exercise. And when Sabine, for example, said, well, this ain't working for me, one of my insights, I think it is, I'm a person who has perpetually felt bad that I can't dance, I can't play an instrument, and I can't sing. Those are deficiencies of mine. I wish I could sing. I wish I could dance. I wish I could play a musical instrument. But none of those are easy or even doable. So I get stuck in, deficiencies. But and I'll stop with this. The marvelous thing about this is somehow you have to grab to see, identify, state a weakness, seize it, and hold on to it, and somehow make it into an asset. I don't know if you're saying that. That's what I am getting from this.
Yeah, that's basically it, is that when you're aware of it, you can leverage it as an asset, and all of them. Yeah. And I feel like people who come to this that are in OD probably, have all this, are ahead of the people I'm trying to attract, which are these, corporate leaders and people running from a dysfunctional place. Well, where time is coming to an end. Paul, would you like to start with gratitudes and then pass it to someone?
Did we do that already? I'm sorry.
We did them at the beginning.
Okay.
And I think, well, David, do we do both gratitudes at the beginning and the end, or like a lot of meetings, we start with a quick win and then we end with gratitudes, which we could do in the future.
Yeah. Well, one way to do it, since we got 2 minutes, is people type a comment of gratitude in the chat.
That's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. And then maybe we could have, and people just, so see if you can be self-aware and just say one word that it is the way you're feeling right now. So I'll start relief and I'll pass it to Paul.
Challenged. And I will pass it to Dr. Sue.
Enlightening. On to Ken. No.
Throbbing. Next.
Self-aware. Joy. Joy, over to you.
Empowered. And Tom.
Introspective.
Beauty.
We could just go popcorn. Just whoever.
Fired.
Appreciative.
Growing.
That's everyone. Then we'll say thank you for playing with me, and we'll see you either tomorrow or next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dr. Bulgy, can you stay on for a couple of minutes?